launch the game, go to multiplayer, and then just click co-op quick time.
Fuck. So the other day I was actually talking to Tim about how nervous I was, and he said just go up there and have fun and be you. So I was like, okay, so break stuff, yell a lot, and curse every other word. Got it. But then we kind of decided that Trevor would probably actually die if I did that, so I'm going to try to keep that stuff to a minimum. So before I actually started writing everything down, I was brainstorming in my brain, because that's how that works. I decided that I wanted to ask you guys 2 questions before I started. So, you guys can raise your hands if you want to answer the question. But what does community mean to you guys? Like, what's your definition of community for anybody who wants to?
Family.
Anybody else?
Someone you do stuff with.
That's a good one. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
Friends.
Friends, yeah. Those are all good. I mean, none of these are wrong at all.
Folks whose company you enjoy.
Exactly, yeah, that's good. Okay, so then my second question. They can hear me.
The issue is that the streets have
You guys can't hear me?
The street can't hear you.
Your listeners need you.
Okay, I'm not starting over. So my second question is, what does your community mean to you? So what do you guys want out of a community? So you gave me the definition of what it means, right? So what do you guys want out of it? So you said that it means family and it means friends and all that stuff. So do you want a large group of friends, a big family? Do you want people to play games with? What kind of stuff? What does it mean to you guys to be a part of a community? Or do you feel like you just answered this question?
People bring the same amount of engagement that you are.
Yes, that's good. That's great.
I want to have everybody have a good time, watching what I make, and feel like I'm contributing in some way to the community that I've inserted myself into.
Yes, good. I feel that way too, a lot actually. Derek, could you raise your hand?
People that are fun to interact with while I'm streaming.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. That's what a community is, right? So now, before I actually started writing this stuff down, I thought, okay, so I want to have that first question answered by community leaders, and then the second one to be answered by community members. But then when I actually started writing it down, I was like, why would I limit it to just those roles? Because for me, I want to be emphasis. So for me, the way that I look at it, at least for the community that I am a part of, is I want to be a part of my community just as much as I want to have my community. So whether or not you are a community leader or a community member, you should essentially be looking at your community the same way, right? So then I was like, okay, well, everybody should be able to answer these questions because essentially all the answers should be the same from everyone. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of perspective, and I'm sure you guys all know your English, but the definition for the word your is, it's an adjective to show possession, right? So possession or possessions. Now possession, being singular, means that it is yours, it belongs to you, and you own it, right? Whereas possession means multiple possessions, you own multiple things, or in this case, means that it could be something that is owned by multiple people. It is your community, it belongs to all of us, It is not just one person with a bunch of followers. It's all of us here in this community together. And just like as I said already, I would want to be a part of my community just as much as I would want to have one. So in this case, I would say, make sure that you guys are thinking of a community, your community, as everyone's community together, not just yours. Now, I did do a little bit of research to try to gather some solid information for you guys. So I went to Google, and I started typing in how to build a community. The first thing that came up was how to build a commander deck, so naturally I got sidetracked for 2 hours. I still don't know how to build a commander deck, but eventually I got back on track. And according to Google, the best ways to build a community are all bullshit, because everything that I saw was connect your network, expand your blogger podcast, bring all your people together for a low price of blah, blah, blah. And it didn't actually teach me anything at all. However, I did find 2 definitions for the word community. So the first one is a group of people living in the same place or having a particular characteristic in common. Or 2, a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing attitudes, interests, and goals. So each community is different. Now, even in this room, we have variety streamers, we have people who stream video games, art, people who make video games, all of the above, and even none of the above. I can't tell you exactly how to build a community, but I can give you a few tips and tricks possibly. Now, everything that I give you here is not necessarily going to be something that works for everybody, right? So something that works well for the Wonderland crew is not something that's going to, or might not be something that's going to work well for all Manakind, and vice versa. So I do have quite a few topics to talk about, so I'm going to talk about each one. If you guys have any questions, you guys can ask them at the end, okay? Neat, okay. Don't shake your head at me. So the first one that I have is probably one of the most obvious ones, but connect your people. Bring people together and create a support system. Every single one of us have multiple interests. For example, I love music, art, D&D, tattoos, so many other things, and I've never found anybody that I have all of the same interests as. And to me, that's actually a beautiful thing, because that means that I get the opportunity to connect with multiple people about multiple different things. So even if it's just one thing that you have in common with someone, that's one thing, and that's where it starts. So for example, I was streaming once, and someone commented on one of my tattoos. We started talking about it a little bit, and then they joined the Discord because I told them that I wanted to see a picture of their tattoos. So then, after seeing their tattoos, we talked about what was the inspiration for the tattoos, what kind of things they liked, and so on and so forth. We found out by talking about the things that they liked that they actually had common interests with somebody else in the Discord server, and it started a chain reaction. Then all of a sudden there were multiple people talking about, oh, I love this game too, and that was my favorite game from my childhood. I love all of these other things as well. And without talking about that one thing that we liked, that we had in common, I don't think any of that really would have happened, or it either would have just happened a lot slower. So your jobs as community leaders is to try to make those connections and bring those people together over said common interests. So going along with that, my next community building tip is let everybody share and participate. So if community members didn't share stories and participate, how else would we know that we all had common interests, or if we had anything in common at all? Also, along with that, letting people share and participate makes them feel welcome and included in the community. For me, at least, that's actually the goal of my community. It's just for everybody to feel welcome, for it to be a place that everybody wants to be, or that they feel like they can be themselves in. I lost my place. Okay. That leads to my next topic, which is supporting each other. So supporting each other can come in multiple ways. It can be following or subbing to somebody's channel, buying their game, joining their Discord. It can be any of those things, or it could be something even just as simple as being there to talk when somebody needs it, or being some kind of support system when somebody needs it. Because unfortunately, that's actually something that a lot of people don't really have nowadays. So if you can be that person to somebody, do it, please, because I can guarantee there's a lot of people out there that need that. I keep losing my place, I'm sorry. Stop. instilling confidence in people. So for me, something that I did recently with my community was I had each one of my streamers, if they had the role of streamers and they wanted to participate in it, I had each one of them come up with goals that they wanted to accomplish this year. I had them create a 3-month, 6-month, and 12-month goal if they wanted to be a part of this. And then we all decided to work together to support each other to reach these goals as a community. So that created confidence, and it also helped these people to accomplish their goals. So you can use your community to bring people together to make them feel like they are supported. However, the most important thing about that is regardless of what happens, let them know that you and your community will be there no matter what, because that is the biggest part of a community, is being there for the person whenever they need it. My next topic is one that can be slightly difficult, but I think it is one of the most important things. Forget the small talk. Care about your community. I want to know about River's first gig and if he made it there and back okay. And I want to know about Derek's cat and Carrie's Fortnite games. And I want to know about Trey's new job and how Cypher's Christmas with his mom went and if everything went okay. I want to know how the release of Bombfest is going for Zach. And just all of my friends mean more to me than pretty much anybody else in the world. And I want to know how they're doing. You just want to care, right? So for me, I know that this can be kind of hard. The reason why that I say that it's hard is because I can't teach you guys how to care. However, I can remind you that each and every single one of us here, we're all people. We all have interests, we all have personalities, and we all just need people. We all need to be a part of something bigger than ourselves. At least that's how I feel, and that's what I want out of my community. To me, my community is my family, and I want that same thing for so many other people, because I felt very lost many, many times previous to having my community, and there have been many times that I've felt lost since building this community that they've pulled me right back out of it again. And I don't know where I'd be without them. So, oh goodness, I lost my place again. Sorry guys.
Slam poetry.
Slam poetry, that's actually what this is. It's not my speech at all, it's just slam poetry. You guys can start snapping whenever you want.
Major props for the handwritten notes, by the way.
Thank you. I'm like, it was really bad as I had everything written out. I'm not following it all. So I know that each community is different, but like I said, what I want out of my community is a family. And to me, the reason why we are such a big community that loves and cares for each other is because they all care about me, I care about all of them, and we all care about each other, right? So along with caring about your people, be happy that they're there. There are thousands of other streamers, billions of other people in the world. We all have our own lives, our own jobs. We have families and friends and extracurricular activities that we like to do. If someone takes even just 5 minutes out of their busy day to jump in your chat or say hi on your Discord or anything like that, that's 5 minutes that they chose to spend with you. And that is incredible. Nobody owes you anything for being a community leader, so you can at least show them appreciation for being a part of it. Tell them you're glad that they're here with you. Give appreciation and credit as often as you can. Huge thing, thank your mods. I don't know where I would be without Cypher and Demo and Positive and Derek. I wouldn't be half the streamer that I am. I wouldn't be half the person that I am if I didn't have all 4 of these dudes pushing me to accomplish more things and to be better. There's been so many times that I've been down and been going through rough times that they didn't even know it, and they pulled me right back out of it again. So I love you guys very, very much, and I know you guys so well. So thank you for being here for me. Another really important part of having a successful community is to be open to suggestions. So I'm not saying that you need to take every single suggestion that somebody gives to you, but that doesn't mean, it's going to keep other people's wants and needs in mind as well. Because again, it is our community. It's not just yours. It's about what everybody wants and what everybody likes and would want to be a part of. If I were a part of a community where I was just a member, I would hope that my voice could be heard as well if it was something that I wanted to maybe incorporate or a change that I wanted to make or something like that. So again, think of it in the mindset of even if you were just a viewer or a member of this community, would you want to be a part of it as well? Keeping other people's wants and wants and needs in mind comes in part with a relatively touchy subject, which is community member management, or in simpler terms, knowing when to talk to, time out, or ban somebody. So this is actually something that I know that I need to work on, because while it is usually really hard to offend me, and I'm not giving any of you permission to do that, but usually it's really, what did you say? Just because it's hard to offend me doesn't necessarily mean that it's that hard to offend somebody else who might be in your community. Being community leaders means that we have the authority and we have the right to make those calls when they are needed. We have to make the final say, we have to make the first say. We are the ones that everything lies on. Your community can be a safe haven for multiple people, and all of that can be ruined even by just one person. So where I know that this is something that I need to work on, because for me, like I said, it's hard to offend me, but something that's not offensive to me could be something that's very, very offensive to somebody else. So I know that it can be hard to balance those kinds of things, but that comes along with keeping everybody else's wants and needs and interests in mind along with yours. Because like I said many times already, it is our community and not just yours. Now, earlier I mentioned how I tried to do some research to build communities, and funny enough, what I learned from researching how other people build communities is to actually not do what other people do. Don't do what anybody else does, because it's your community. So that brings me to my last and most important topic. Just be you. Your community is your community for a reason. Being you, being yourself, will help to attract like-minded people. It'll help everybody to get along. It'll help for everybody to feel welcomed and loved and part of a family, because they're there for you and everybody's there for each other. And if you let everybody be themselves, then that's the point, right? So we're all there. We all get to be ourselves, and we all get to be accepted for being who we are. Now, like what you want to like within moderation, obviously. Say what you want to say and be who you want to be. And the community will come after. Because you, every other person here, and every other person in our communities, we're not just numbers. We're people. We have personalities, and we have interests. We all deserve to feel important, like we belong, and that we're a part of a community that everybody cares about. So you guys be you, let them be them, and then the community will come after. So that's it for my notes about the speech. However, I wanted to say thank you again to my moms for everything that you guys do for me. I would be completely lost without all of you guys. Also, I want to say thanks to FAM, because ever since I met you guys, not even a whole year ago, FAM took me in more ways than one. As a streamer, as a friend, as a family member, gave me a place to live. And they've included me in all of their events for some reason. These guys deserve so much more support and recognition for everything that they do. So if you guys haven't already, please make sure that you give your love and your support to the FAM, because they're some of the most incredible people that I've ever met. I've said this about a lot of people, because I have a lot of favorite people, because I love a lot of people, but the 3 guys that are in FAM are some of my favorite people in the entire world. Like, fuck, man. I mean, no. I mean,
And swear jar.
Yeah, there it is.
I tried so hard not to
I did try really hard, I'm sorry. I said I'd keep it to a minimum, but seriously, you guys,
get one of
you guys really know what I'm thinking.
It's still PG-13.
You
got
get
it.
one in a PG-13 movie.
Oh my
Congratulations, you
goodness.
made it.
All
Get the one
right.
per
As
movie.
long as there's no violence.
So that was actually everything that I had. If anybody has any questions, you guys are more than welcome to ask them now. Hot dog? God damn it. Hi, what's up?
How long have you been streaming?
I just passed my 1-year mark, January 31st. That was my first stream. Yeah. I think affiliate was just, my anniversary of affiliate was like last week, maybe. Hi.
Hi.
You have a question?
No, redacting.
Okay. Hi. Trevor.
What kind of goals do you have set for yourself this year?
For myself, oh goodness. Okay, so
Yeah. Question.
currently I'm a community manager for 3 different communities. So I'm a community manager for the Wonderland crew, the partner stream team that is the FAMcon squad, and then I also am a community manager for a band called Jared in the Mill. As of right now, a lot of the things are really new. So for me, one of my biggest goals is to kind of get everything laid out to where it's a lot better structured and to where I can find a schedule to be able to keep everything in line, and so that I don't stress out right before a big event and get sick. And then basically to just be more consistent and be more involved in all of my communities together.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions or anything else? I probably took like 20 minutes, didn't it? Did it really? Okay.
Oh, you're good. You're on time.
Okay, so no other questions or anything else? No. Cool. Okay, see you later.
You're the best!
No, do it again.
Slam poetry.
Hey, Alex. We got one question.
We have a question in chat.
What?
There's a chat question.
Chat question. When it comes to building a community, how do you find time to engage everyone in your community when you're offline while still having family life, work, and social life? Dude, it's so hard. I don't find time. I just don't. Finding time for that. So for me, unfortunately, I have to kind of schedule certain times of the day that I look at certain social media or answer emails or look at my Discord. Or if it's like something that I know is going to be like a quick reply, I'll do that. But as far as finding the time, it's just setting a schedule is the easiest thing for me.
I got one for you now.
What's up?
At what point do you genuinely feel like things that should be handled yourself versus being handled by moms? At what point do you feel like this is something that I could deal with it, but I have this, and this, they can handle it?
I'm not the right person to ask. You guys do everything for me.
I know that's why I asked.
So I have very good mods that spoil me, and they do everything that I ask, include come from a different state to watch me do a speech. So Cypher's question was, at what point do you decide that it is something, like if there's something that needs done, is it something that you should do yourself or something that you should have your mods handle? For me, it's very situational and it depends on what I have going on at the time. So for the indie game that I just streamed on Thursday, I actually had the developer reach out to me, we played the game together. I tried to set up the giveaway for that and I fucked it up, so I had Cypher do it. But, damn it. I mean,
That's another one!
are we still live? Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
All day.
So for that, I tried to do it myself and it didn't work, so I had Cypher do it. So it just depends on what it is. Like, if it's something that's a big project and I feel like there's a lot that's going to go into it, I might ask for my mods to help with certain little pieces or little parts of it. But for the most part, I would like to try to do most of it myself. But
Until it involves your computer.
shut up.
She's so nice to us, guys.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
Alex is so abusive.
I'm not abusive.
7 powerful tiny fists.
Okay. No other questions?
They're like average fists. They just have a smaller impact radius, so it's
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Good thing we don't. Good job.
There's alcohol at the bar.